Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Open Public Meetings Act statement, please.
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was forwarded to the official township newspapers posted on the bulletin board and township website on November 3rd, 2022. This meeting is being videotaped and will be on Channel 9.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Doyle?
Here.
Mrs. Flake?
Here.
Mr. Key?
Here.
Mr. Mark?
Here.
Mayor Bruno?
Here. Your motion over the first public portion for resolutions and ordinances below.
Motion for the first public portion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Your motion to close the first public portion.
Motion to close the first public portion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve correspondence and reports.
Make a motion to approve the correspondence and reports.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the minutes from December 27, 2022, and January 2nd, 2023.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the bill list.
Make a motion to approve the bill list.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flake?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Mr. Mark?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. And motion to approve the raffle, just licenses, Bob,
Yes. It's the food handling.
for handling licenses for 2023.
Make a motion to approve the licenses.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution R 3123, supplying the preferred preliminary alternative for Porchtown Road, County Road 613, bridge over Still Run at Island Lake, bridge 10K4 in the Township of Franklin.
Make a motion for the resolution R 3123.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flake?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Mr. Mark?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 3223, reappointing John J. Armano Jr. as Municipal Court Judge for the Township of Franklin, Joint Municipal Court for a 3-year term.
Make a motion for R 3223.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flake?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Mr. Mark?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 3323, appointing the mayor and/or his designee to apply for a recreation grant.
Make a motion for R 3323.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flake?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Mr. Mark?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 3423, reappointing Michael Bozarth as a Class 3 School Resource Officer for the Township of Franklin Police Department.
Make a motion for R 3423.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flake?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Mr. Mark?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 3523, reappointing Brian Farrell as a Class 3 School Resource Officer for the Township of Franklin Police Department.
Make a motion for R 3523.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flake?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Mr. Mark?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 3623, reappointing Holdcraft as a Class 3 School Resource Officer for the Township of Franklin Police Department.
Make a motion for R 3623.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flake?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Mr. Mark?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 3723, reappointing Jesse Miller as a SLEO Class 2 Officer for the Township of Franklin Police Department.
Make a motion for R 3723.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flake?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Mr. Mark?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 3823, reappointing Vince Driver as a Class 3 School Resource Officer for the Township of Franklin Police Department.
Make a motion for R 3823.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flake?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Mr. Mark?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 3923, authorizing the Chief Financial Officer of the Township of Franklin to transfer certain funds from and to specific accounts in the 2022 reserve budget for the Township of Franklin.
Make a motion for R 3923.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flake?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Mr. Mark?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 4023, authorizing temporary hiring of senior bus driver, alternate Christina Bull.
Make a motion for R 4023.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Vernon?
Yes.
Resolution 4123, authorizing title change of Stephanie Garofalo from administrative assistant clerk to construction clerk probation.
Make a motion for R 4123.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Vernon?
Yes. Take a motion for the introduction of the following ordinance. A public hearing will be held on January 24th, 2023. Ordinance 123, establishing the salary and wages of municipal officials and employees of the Township of Franklin.
Make a motion for the introduction of O 123.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Vernon?
Yes. Take a motion for the introduction of O 223, authorizing the statutory fee increase for applicants for permit to carry firearms submitted to the Township of Franklin Police Department.
I make a motion for O 223.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Vernon?
Yes. And both of these will be January 24th, 2023, correct, Matt?
Yes, public hearing on the 24th.
Thank you. Take a motion to open the second public portion for any comment.
Make a motion to open the second public portion.
Second.
Thanks, Mike. All those in favor?
Aye. I was waiting for somebody to hit him. You might have to rearrange John and I's suits, huh?
Is this the public portion where you can talk about any issue?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to talk again about land use development. And I wanted to remind everyone that the municipal land use law is basically, the purpose of it is to encourage municipal action to guide the appropriate use or development of all lands in this state in a manner which will promote public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. To provide adequate light, air, and open space, appropriate population densities and concentration, contribute to well-being of persons, neighborhoods, communities, and regions, and preservation of the environment. I think we can't forget that the job of zoning, planning, is to make sure we have a healthy population. And that's the big concern that I have with the redevelopment zone, that unfortunately, or fortunately, there's a lot of homes in the area, and we can't change that. So placing an extra burden on them is a difficult thing that I don't think we should be doing based on the type of burden that could be there. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think warehousing is probably where we're headed, and diesel trucks emit 50% more nanoparticles of pollution, and these are very dangerous to people's health. They not only go into your lungs, but they're so small they go right into your bloodstream. And then they cause all kinds of serious health complications, including premature death. So I wanted to go over the criteria for areas in need of redevelopment. And I believe the criteria, there are three. One is land that owned by municipality, the county, local housing authority, redevelopment entity, or unimproved vacant land that has remained so for a period of 10 years prior to adoption of the resolution. But by reason of its location, remoteness, lack of means of access to developed sections or portions of the municipality, or topography or nature of the soil, is not likely to be developed through the instrumentality of private capital. Well, I don't think any of those things apply to these lots. They're certainly close enough to other development, and they're not really remote. They're certainly able to be developed without, through instrumentality of private capital. They can easily be developed. Now, the other parts that they're citing is building arrangement, which we sort of covered that there was a mistake in that part with the Mangini's property. And none of the land there presents a combination of detriment to the safety, health, morals, or welfare to the community, which seems to be a caveat in all the reasons why you would make it would qualify for redevelopment zone. If anything, putting a warehouse there is a detriment to the safety, health, morals, and welfare of the community, rather than what's there now. So I really don't think that it meets the legal criteria. And I wanted to talk about the effects of what will happen. I mean, it will increase the risk of cardiac and pulmonary mortality, strokes, heart attacks. It's clear the science is there. It's not some kind of abstract issue. Children who are living within 250 yards of a highway are also found to have problems with leukemia and other childhood cancers. It also affects older people as well. And even short-term exposure can kill. So we are talking about something that's not abstract. And part of the problem that I have with all of this is that we really have to factor the health of our residents in anything that we plan. And if these particles can cause everything from cancer to early death, chronic lung disease, asthma, they also find that they also cause problems with the immune system, so that individuals who now will have susceptibility to a bacterium called Streptococcus pneumonia. Now this is a bacteria that's found in everybody's nose, but people who are exposed to diesel exhaust particles have an increased susceptibility, where these particles that normally, these diseases, bacteria that normally wouldn't hurt you because they're in your body all the time and you have a good immune system, but being exposed to diesel exhaust particles causes you to be susceptible if you're under 5 years old or elderly. And a lot of people, it's a life-threatening disease. So thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Hi, good evening. Chris Mears, 184 Malibu Lake Boulevard. First off, congratulations to the two new committee members. Welcome. I hope you enjoy your term here. I just wanted to, one main reason to come, I don't want to belabor the point about the redevelopment zone. So my main purpose here tonight, I don't want to just keep speaking just for the sake of speaking, is just introducing myself to the two new committee members, because I know you weren't on the committee during the last committee meeting when this was discussed, or at least the last one that I was here for. It was suggested by some on the planning board that the people who are complaining, the loudest voices that are complaining against the redevelopment, are a minority voice in the township. People who are just anti-business or environmentalists or what have you.
That was said at the planning board?
No.
So you shouldn't say that, right?
Well, Mr. Petty.
You just said that it's the opinion of people on there that allows. No one ever said that.
Mr. Pesh came up here during the last committee meeting and told the new committee members and suggested that there are loud voices in the community and they make up a minority of the people. So I said there were people on the planning board, not at the planning meeting. Thank you, Mr. Bruno.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that this is going on not just in Franklin Township, it's going on all over the state. And in every township where these new warehouses have been proposed, there's been a strong and organized effort to stop this warehouse construction. I have news articles here that I printed out. Hillsborough Township, West Hampton Township, Burlington County, Sparta, Franklin, Somerset County, Montague Hill, right down the street, probably the most well-known of all of them. And I just wanted to, this is going on all over. And there is a large amount of people who are voicing their concerns against these warehouses. And again, it's not a right or left issue. I'm a Republican. I'm as conservative as they come. I volunteered and voted for many of you up there on the board. And I mean, it's not a left or right issue. It's please don't say it that way. Even State Senator Edward Durr just tweeted out in December. He said that many warehouses are being proposed across South Jersey and throughout the state. Logistically, it doesn't make sense. And many residents are voicing their concerns, hashtag we the people. Somebody followed that up with a question saying, why are they building these warehouses? And he replied, this is a very good question and I'm hoping to find out. There are at least 5 warehouses being brought to planning boards in the past few weeks, and none are in logical locations. So again, I mean, it's not a left or right issue. It's not an environmental Greenpeace issue. It's not an economic issue. It's an issue that affects everybody in the township, and it's an issue that I hope you think hard and long about. And I hope that in the end you'll you'll vote against this redevelopment. So thank you.
Thank you.
Dave Marshall, 67 New Road, Malaga. And this is not a bragging point, but it's just to show your vested interest in the township. My family's been here since 1940. I've coached many years in this township. I played sports all through youth, through high school. We have a definite love of the township, and this is a problem that's going to occur if this continues down this path. I'm not anti-business, I just think this is the wrong choice. I've spoken before at different meetings about different businesses, one of which unfortunately I couldn't make it, but I have spoke to people off record about was the multitude of dollar stores coming in. Everybody has their different opinion. I'm not saying I don't use them on occasion, they do. But they're an eyesore. The properties are kept like a sty and no one enforces it. There's trash all over, the lights flicker on and off, they have trucks on them all night long. I don't mean this in a sarcastic way, but where are you? I mean, they're approved to be here, but nobody enforces any of the things that should be done to help the public, and that's another problem with this.
Anybody about those issues?
Multiple times.
Who do you know about?
It's been through the township multiple times. Emails have been sent. This is in the past. I haven't done any problem in the last year.
We had some issues. We didn't have a zoning officer for a while. We had part-time.
I understand that.
We have
The one on the side of Country's property?
Yeah, that's the main one. They all have the same issue. That's the worst.
I know she's been out there.
That's the worst one.
Yeah.
And that's the one, of course, that's closest to where I know CSA the most. I mean, we have trash on our property constantly from them just throwing around. Fortunately, there's nobody right near us that has any seizure issues because the lights are flickering on and off so long over the night, it would cause a seizure.
What, parking lot?
In the parking lot, the lights are just constant flickering. This is the road right there where Clutch Level used to be on Dusty Drive.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the other.
No, the other I'm not aware of. I mean, I do this trash here because I've seen it when I've driven past, but not on the level of this one. Well, that's just one of the concerns. I mean, you drive up and down Dusty Drive, I know it's been brought to the attention before of previous boards. We have a lot of delinquent buildings, we have a lot of businesses that are unkept. Maybe we should focus a little bit more on the problems we have and making this township better before we start having any more problems. That's just a viewpoint. This process seems to be getting rushed through a lot, and I'm not saying there isn't favoritism going on. I don't know anyone. I'm not accusing it. It just seems suspicious. Whether it's something to do with the Fazio side, whether it's Mr. Rome, whether it's somebody on this board, I don't know. And like I said, it's not an accusation. One of the things that I just noticed recently is with the Fazio property, it's been up for sale for a while. You can look at almost any of the real estate pages and see it.
It's a big sign.
That too. January of this year was listed for $2,980,000. That was on the 27th of January. The 28th, it went up to $8,500,000. 11 months later, it's listed for $9,400,000, which is their prerogative, except that if you read the website, it states the reason they went up to this and they're selling it now is because unless I can quote this is right from the website, according to the Franklin Township zoning officer, this property is being redeveloped. This is before even the public knew about it. It was posted on their website. How'd that happen? Is it leaked information? Is it insider information?
I'm just on public to do a redevelopment study.
I understand this is on their site that was posted before any of us knew about this.
When was that?
Well, Brian's over now, you can look back.
When was it originally?
It's originally, the first posting on it was back about 4 months ago.
I don't remember the exact date we got.
I don't know the exact date. I mean, we didn't, at least most of us, I'll at least speak for myself, wasn't around until recently. You know, I told it right before the last public meeting. In fact, when we were at the meeting is when it got posted on the website during the meeting. Now, there might have been information through that, but it wasn't, the public wasn't aware of it, at least that I know of. And that raises a lot of suspicion. transparency is one of the biggest things you want. In fact, one of the quotes when a couple of you were running was, "Thank you for sending a message to the county political bosses, but Franklin is not for sale. The residents of Franklin can see through all our typical attempts to take control of our town, and Franklin should be first." That was one of the statements when two of you were running this year, or actually, before your previous election, not this year, excuse me, the slogans. Franklin's first, let's make Franklin first. First, let's make it happen with the people that are here. Something that I didn't hear about, maybe it had, but I unfortunately missed one of the meetings, was there any type of impact studies done for this? Prior to any of this possible rezoning? Environmental, municipal costs, anything that way, anything done that way? Because it should have been. I'm asking things I don't know. I mean, maybe you can educate me.
Matt, is that?
Now, again, this was referred for study to be considered for redevelopment. So
I understand, but my question is, if the impact studies weren't done, at least I don't know the answer why we were proceeding with this to start with. I heard that it happened through here, but why? If there wasn't an actual valid reason for it, is it chasing ratables? I'm just curious.
again, the process is underway at this point. The study has been done for the redevelopment consideration. We are awaiting a response from the planning board at this time, after which time the governing body would determine whether or not to proceed.
But it still doesn't answer the question of why we're even going here.
Well, again, it's a process.
I understand, but I don't know if I'm going to restructure my property. I don't want to rezone it. What is the reason why we're going here? I've never heard that.
The reason why we're doing it?
Yes.
To attract business potentially to the corridor.
Okay, which I don't want any business. I'm good with that, but why this type?
Well, we don't even know. There was no type. There was no type.
Okay.
It's zoned a certain way now. We just want to see what is available with the zoning. After the planning board does whatever they do, if it's brought back to us, then we'll make a determination. And then I believe the next part is what, Matt?
First of all, just to go back, the October 25th is when the governing body took formal action to refer the matter to the planning board for study. So from October, that was the date that there was formal action taken at one of our public meetings. After the matter comes back from the planning board, the governing body, the planning board had an opportunity to review this. They haven't responded back to us yet. The governing body has seen fit not to act until that response is relayed, even though there's a statutory limit on how long they have. So there is no rush to do anything. In fact, the governing body has waited for that feedback, and we are still waiting for it. After that feedback comes back, it is then a governing body decision as to whether or not to declare the area in need, and to then, after that, if that declaration is made, and of course, the study area that has been studied is being reviewed by the planning board, we will have the benefit of their comments and take action if seen fit from there, with including that feedback. And after that, if it were determined, now we're three steps ahead, is that a redevelopment plan is crafted, one which addresses the issues that are being raised here tonight. Those issues won't be vetted unless and until the determination is made to proceed. Because those studies, those determinations cost money and cost time of the governing body. If there's no determination to proceed, there would be costs that would not be recovered. So that's where we are in the process at this point. We had recommended, as the statute requires, to the planning board to study. The planning board studied. We are now awaiting their comments and before proceeding.
All right, now I'm running out of my time. Is it a problem if I continue talking?
5 minutes.
I understand that. I can sit down and get back up. I mean, that's
No,
fine.
you really can't. You're not supposed to. But go ahead and finish.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you.
What?
For real. That's great.
I'm just trying to stay within my limits. In the event it is a warehouse that comes in, and say hypothetically that's what occurs. Statistically, 11% of local residents are ever hired in a warehouse. We already have almost every business in Franklin Township looking for help. What do you think's going to happen when they come and say to our house? Where are we going to draw our employees from? You look at the ones in Milligan Hill, that was already proposed and the study was done, it was going to come from Cameron and Philadelphia. We already have a severe drug issue in our town. In the event, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, it's just hypothetical, but say there's a lot of Camden employees that come down. Is it not going to impact the drug problem? Is it going to make it worse? Is it going to make it better? Is it going to overburden the police officers? Again, these are things just to think about. That may or may not. I know we have a retired police officer. My father was a police officer in the 60s for this township. So I understand a little bit of that side before. It wasn't always near like it is now. I can only imagine the nightmare they deal with. Do you want to add to that? And again, if it ends up being that. Water runoff is a big issue. Since that Fazio lot's been cleared, septics in this area have been going statistically failing. At least from what I'm hearing from the companies that are doing septics, they have about 28% of their business, most of them. Is it going to do with the lot clearing? I don't know. Our septic went bad after that. Again, it could be just age. The trees are dying in this area. And from what I'm hearing from some of the arborists, it's because of water saturation. The water tables are rising. If it ends up being a warehouse, say it's an 800,000 square foot building, just a building, no property. A 1 inch of rain will get 440,000 gallons of water runoff. Where's it going to go? Even if they put a detention pond in, they can seep back in the run and still raise the perk area of the water. It's an issue. The wetlands are already spreading. You just look down Dusty Drive where the high tension lines are and tell me that, 20 years ago that was 15 feet wide with a little bit of dampness. Now it's over 150 foot wide, every tree around is dying. It's just because the water tables are higher. That's a statistic in South Jersey. What is this going to do with property values? I live very close to this. The noise is horrendous now since they cleared these trees. We barely heard 55 before. Since the trees are done now, it's constant. It's not just one, it's all the time. The noise is horrendous. It's not when somebody's in a rumble strip, it's just from normal traffic now. We never heard it. We didn't move there for that reason. We liked it because it was nice and quiet. Air pollution was brought up a little bit. I believe it was by Barbara. She's very accurate with it. The diesel myth that was better than gasoline has been dispelled about 5 years ago. And we're showing the statistics of that. There's health issues all the time now. I'm not going to rehash it because she went over most of them and what the side effects are. In the event that I don't know, more traffic, whatever it may be, it's going to affect our area. It's going to hurt. Again, you said it may not be warehouses. Maybe a professional building would be better, office building, something that doesn't have that amount of impact on the environment. Whether it be water runoff, whether it be impact of the animals or the pollution side of it. Most of which, the other things that have been hashed about. The biggest thing I'm concerned about, and I was hoping I voted for some of you, that we'd have more transparency in this township, and it doesn't seem like we do. And it's sad. It's sad. It bothers me, as you can see from the people here, and everybody else you talk to has the same issue. We vote locals in, hoping that we'll be able to have that input and be part of this township. And we want you to be. You're here. Work with us, talk with us, let us know things. Don't let us find out last minute.
All these meetings.
Excuse me?
The part of this process is you guys coming out and letting us know what the community is. I
understand that. We appreciate the ones that are here.
But I mean, this isn't a one meeting thing. This is a long process, and we're at the point of just looking at it. We're not even starting the process. We're just looking at it.
Well, it sure seems like it started now.
We did a study.
Right, a study, right. But it's for us started, isn't it? It's, like I said, from at least from a public standpoint, it sure seems like it's been started. You know, like I said, that's why we're here to find out more and hope I'm wrong, but it's a concern. I mean, there's a lot. You look around 55, there's properties being cleared. I mean, a lot of them are owned by people in the township. Maybe they were proactive, maybe they're not. Maybe some of you own it. I don't know. But it sure looks like there's a plan in place to do this. And there's going to be some financial benefit for people. But it's going to impact us, we're going to talk about it. But if there's not transparency, you can be darn sure there's going to be accountability. Thank you.
Thank you.
William Smith, 86 Woodland Avenue, Franklinville. I am neither for nor against it. However, I was born and raised in Franklin Township many, many years ago, and I am older than some and younger than some. They ran General Motors out of Franklin Township that wanted to build a car plant where Corolla's is now. all the way to Delsey, all the way to Blackwood Town Road. Ran them out of town. They ran Fazio's out of town that wanted to put a business in there and a home. Said they couldn't cut the trees down. Well, guess what? The trees are down. You can't have it both ways. Either your taxes are going to go sky high, or you're going to allow business in here. And like I said, I'm neither for nor against it. But you can't have it both ways. My taxes are almost $6,000 on a 3-bedroom house on the end of Woodland Avenue, next to what was a junkyard that buried trash and gas tanks and everything else in the ground. And the county let them get away with it. That's all I gotta say. This township will never change. I'll be 76 in April. This township will never change. They don't want business here. I don't know why, but, you know, that's their privilege. Thank you.
Thank you.
We get a motion to close the second public portion.
Make a motion to close the second public portion.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, finishing growing a pair. I'm going to read it because I'm...
You want to pull that?
Yeah, sorry. Hi, I'm Mindy Curran, 71 Edgewood Avenue. I'm here to express my concerns over the redevelopment zone and corresponding study, and especially the areas considered greenways. When asked why these areas were added, there was not a definitive answer, bordering on dismissive. I would like to have more confidence in the committee's ability to make serious, well-considered decisions about our quality of life. I moved here at the end of 2007, when it was fairly quiet, especially at night or when the neighbors were at work. But ever since Fazio land was cleared, the road noise that was buffered by the woods is now at a disquieting volume. I have invested myself into creating a wildlife habitat on my property, and I can tell you that there has been a dramatic decline in the amount of bugs and birds over the last several years. I can't say that it is because of that land clearing, but every tree that was removed was a host for a myriad of insects that would have fed many birds and critters that rely on them. The continuation of habitat loss is alarming, and as a community, I feel we should cherish what we have. Not all land is for human consumption and profit. I implore you to preserve the remaining untouched land we have in waterways, which make up 67 miles of streams and 350 acres of lakes and ponds. These areas are crucial to the health of this community and those downstream. I ask that you stay loyal to the master plan and retain the rural character of life in Franklin Township. As Joni Mitchell said, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. They took all the trees and put them in a tree museum and charged all the people $1.50 to see them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. 66 New Road. Matthew. Yeah, Matthew Platania. I just want to remind all of you that you are, responsible for your own integrity, your own morals, and your decisions prove that. So going forward with anything that happens in this township, I want you to remind yourselves of that. I also would like to know if you can possibly paint the lines on Marshall Mill Road. Yeah, oh my God, it's amazing there hasn't been a head-on collision.
Listen, there's Marshall Mill, parts of Dutch.
I know.
Stanton Avenue, parts of Stanton.
Yeah, it's very bad. Yeah, and to that point about like that property by 55, Why can it never be built into something productive for the community?
It's private property.
Private property, indeed.
We don't know, so the owners of the municipality.
Can you guys possibly build a sound wall at all? Is the township in charge of that property between 55? Is the township involved with that property around 55? Sorry.
Which property?
Like right on 55 right there, right on the property in question. Can you guys build a sound wall or all?
That would be a state.
I think it's a state.
That's the state too because of the highway?
DOT.
All right.
It's only a small piece of township property in the redevelopment plan.
Okay. You're all being watched, so choose wisely.
Need a motion to close the second part of the portion.
I was wondering if Mr. Marsh and Mr. Keene are going to vote on this also. They're brand new on this. And from what Margaret Durr, I live in Forest Grove.
You're wondering if they're gonna vote?
Yeah, are they going to vote? In other words, from what I understand, it looks like that you can completely overlook what the planning board decides. And you alone will make the decision.
That is correct.
And that means that we have 2 new members. And they're going to make this decision about,
I'm not
It's a
gonna speak for
beautiful-
Mr. Marsh or Mr. Keene, but I'm sure that they will do their due diligence to make a determination when the time comes.
yeah.
They are residents. I mean, they live here, you know?
Does anybody live in the area of concern here? Does anybody? Have you been there? They love their neighborhood. It's a beautiful area. And you're going to destroy it. The traffic, to come out from onto Route 40, it took a long time to be able to pull out. We already have a lot of traffic. And who wants the trash of, let's just say, McDonald's? Who wants it? At where I live in Forest Grove, we have an area that's reserved for runoff water because of the road development there. And it's full of trash. It's a disgrace. Welcome to Franklin Township, the sign says. It's trash everywhere. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to cut down trees. Just don't hurry on this. And let the owners of the properties move on it. Don't get involved in this. There's not enough experience up here for you to make up your minds for the rest of the public here.
Hi, I'm Sarah Harrison, 178 Belmont Ave, Malaga, New Jersey. I don't feel the need to beat a dead horse. You know, most of the points that have been made I already am in agreement with, and they are reminiscent of the same points that I made at the last planning meeting for those who were present. You know, I've worked closely with at least 3 of you through my work with the Unity Advisory Committee, and I have a very mutual respect for all of you. I would definitely implore you guys to please reject this for the sake of the residents in my neighborhood and our quality of life. And you know, I hope that the points that have been made tonight by the previous speakers have been heard, because they're all the same points that I would be making myself. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your consideration. Thank you.
Hi, Maggie McCool. I'm on Orwell Grove Road, and I have land in both counties and townships. And my family's been here since, I would say, the 20s or 30s, and in Franklin Township. And I just want to echo what other folks have said. Some of the things that concern me as I'm listening to this process are that, if I wanted to start a business, to build something different on my land, I'd have to have an idea or a plan first, then I would ask for zoning variance or something like that. So someone has an idea of what's going to happen here, and if that's not being communicated, as it seems that that's what people are saying, then that's an issue. Everyone deserves to know what is going on. And I also just kind of wanted to, mention that the natural setting that people are talking about, the state has been through a lot of changes, and this area breathes for a lot of the state and a lot of the region more generally. And that's the trees, and that's the waterways. And we really do need to regard that. If we're not making choices that value the land where the people live, then we're not making choices that value the people. And if we're taking walks in this township and finding more trash than we are wildlife, that's how it already is. That's a concern. That's something that makes it so that my kids are moving away to other states where there's a little bit more, consideration of these factors. And in terms of the statement was made, we're not doing anything, a study was done. Someone asked for a study to be done. These things don't occur for no reason in a vacuum. It's not like it's sprinkled down, a study occurred. Someone asked for it to be done. Someone has an idea of what's going to go on there. I'm sure there's some sort of, hopeful, we can solicit business, we can do this, we can do that. Those are all good things. Business, of course, is, something that every township or every municipality would like to have more of. We need more of the right kinds. The Dollar Generals, they don't look so good. Have you ever, been to another country where these kinds of considerations, the nature, the people's well-being and welfare, greenways, play spaces, bike trails, where those things are valued? You have industry, you have business, but they look good, and there are regulations on those businesses so that water runoff from a warehouse isn't as overwhelming, and I don't think that this township has measures in place to make sure that every single construction project is safe for everyone. And that's where the experience comes in, not just of new members, but I don't know that this township has experience with making plans on that scale in something that's an area that's that wet and that impacts so many other people, to do it the right way. So just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alex Baldessaro, 356 Elmwood Avenue, Malaga. So I've heard a lot about ulterior motives. Yes, thank you. But I just want to say, I don't think there's going to be a warehouse that goes up with the plaque Franklin Township on it, right? It's a privately done thing. Nobody here is going to be involved in what happens. All we're trying to do, or all you're trying to do, is just see if something's possible, right? I mean, I heard at the planning board of a resident coming up, and it got some support about what they said. I don't remember who. That they'd rather pay higher taxes than to see this town ruined. Well, I hope to have 70 more years in this town, and I'd like to not pay higher taxes. So, as somebody younger who wants to live here for their whole lives, I think paying less taxes as a resident would be beneficial for me personally. So, I haven't heard a single pro this in listening to the planning board meetings and these meetings, but I just want to say that they're out there. As for the diesel trucks, I don't know how many people are aware of RLS, but they come down my road all the time. They make the wrong turn. I live on a dead-end street, so I hear them all the time. You just get used to it. I hate to say it, but you just get used to it. The train goes right past my house. The train goes past my house. I don't wake up at night. I sleep right through it. It's just something you have to live with when infrastructure comes to your town. I mean, we can't just live alone with whatever's built up around us. I mean, eventually something has to give. And I just hope that we don't get scared of all of the negative words that come. And I hope that we're able to do something positive with it. So that's all. I hope other people hear this and are willing to come up with something positive to say.
Thank you.
Take a motion to close the second public portion.
Make a motion to close the second public portion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports. Tim?
Talking to Public Works, they're wrapping up leaves hopefully next week. Possibly, if the weather stays good, not too breaks. So those guys worked some overtime and really stepped it up. With the amount of guys they had, they got a lot of work done, so just wanted to thank them.
Heather?
Most of my meetings are next week. And the end of this week. Communications starting tomorrow.
John?
EDC met last week and reappointed Mr. Maffa. I will say that there was no discussion on this redevelopment zone for bringing in potential businesses. There hasn't been any economic development committee discussion on any potential businesses for the redevelopment zone property at the EDC meeting.
Yeah, our meetings are starting next month. I did attend the historical meeting, which was pretty interesting. Saw some really neat things in the town and hundreds of years old. Pretty neat. But I will get my next meeting started next month.
Rick is starting to work on the document.
Yeah, their meeting is the document.
Matt, what was yesterday?
National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
National Law Enforcement Officer Appreciation Day. Thank you for what you guys do. Appreciate all the comments, even the ones that basically say I'm on the take. Doesn't bother me one bit. I put my head on the pillow every time I go back to sleep. Just so you all know that. You should be. Other than that, I do appreciate, and the committee appreciates, and I'm sure John and Rich appreciate being part of the process, hearing what the people have to say. Don't always assume it's a done deal until it's a done deal. We're going to allow the planning board to do what we're tasked to do, and that is to look it over and say, or change this or change that. So until that happens, this is a very, very long process. So, we appreciate coming out, and everyone appreciates your comments.
Well, while we're waiting, can we plant a bunch of trees then? Do we need to go with it?
You can do whatever you want.
It's not my property, you said it's somebody else's.
That's Fazio's property. You can go plant the trees. Go ahead. Go ahead.
See if I get the same results.
This is just comments for us. We're going to get it back to the Township Committee. So if there's changes you were to make, they explain it a couple of times. They can come back and say, this out, this out, this out, there's a lot of things that they can do.
Why was John Stewart the chairperson of the environmental?
I'm not going to talk about that right now. You should have asked that when you were up there.
Arrogance is still.
Arrogance?
Arrogance.
Okay. Well, listen. She had the opportunity to ask that. She could have asked it.
No, it's not public. It's not a public motion.
It's not you. It's not.
Oh, it's the end?
It's the end.
I can't ask you questions. Oh. My only thought is that something that's going to be 24 hours a day is truck. think about it. So the businesses that would only open normal business hours, closed on Sundays, it would be less damaging to the community. So if your house is in the end goal, please, don't even put that on the top of the list.
With that said, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks for coming out.
For the residents who have specific statistics that you quoted, I'd love you